Harbor Freight has quite a selection of welding masks. They range from $150 all the way down to about $30. In this video, I'm going to go through each one of these masks. We'll talk about the pros and the cons of each mask, and I'll show you which one I picked up. I'll start by talking about the most expensive one first. All these welding masks, except for one, are self-darkening. Once you've welded with a self-darkening mask, it would be very difficult to go back to anything else. Let me quickly explain what a self-darkening mask is. When you put your mask on, you can see just like you would normal. As soon as you start welding, the mask goes dark immediately. The exact instant that the welding is complete, then your mask goes back to being able to see again. In other words, no more blind welding. I'm welding some thin-walled steel here. I can't lay into it too heavy, or I'll just burn a hole right through the pipe. So being able to see what I'm doing as I set up the weld and then during the weld is amazing. Now this $150 mask has 4 sensors instead of 2. All the other masks have 2 sensors. Now personally, I've never had a problem with 2 sensors. For me, it's not a big selling point. Now there's a much bigger viewing area on this one. Now when I try wearing this one and try wearing the other ones, this one's a little more comfortable, but it's still a welding mask. Now when I look through this lens, you can definitely see it's bigger, but the other ones are definitely more than adequate, so it's difficult for me to justify the extra money for this one. Now the next 2 masks are very similar to each other. This mask has 2 sensors instead of 4 like the high-end one. This one has the same reaction time as the more expensive one. Now this one has a grinding mode on it. The more expensive one has this feature, and basically what it is it turns off the self-darkening feature. That way if you're gonna grind, the light doesn't start making it flick on and off. It's kind of like an on-off switch. To me it sounds a little bit like a marketing thing. The lowest end one doesn't have the feature, but if it has an on-off switch, it might have that feature inadvertently. So this red one is about $55. Now we'll take a look at the next mask. Now this mask is black with blue graphics. Now as far as I can tell, the color is the only difference. So if you want red, you're gonna pay about $5 more for that color. Now at Harbor Freight, there's always a 20% off coupon. Every time I walk in, I look it up online and find one. Now the next welding mask down from there has a few less features and it doesn't have any color. Now it doesn't have that grinding mode. Now I don't know if it has an on-off switch or not, but I do like grinding with the mask on. Now the full mask keeps all these sparks out of your hair. And if the auto darkening feature's on, it's gonna start flicking on and off. Now if you don't turn that feature back on so it can auto darken, you'll start to weld and it won't darken. Ask me how I know that. All you can do is just close your eyes and scream. So I like the feature, but you can't forget to not switch it back. So right now I'm kind of liking that blue one over this one, but not by much. It's got a little smaller screen, a slower flip rate, and no grind mode. Well, let's look at the next mask down from here. Now it's going to be a short look at this mask. It's about $12 cheaper, but this mask has no auto darkening feature. Now if you've ever used a mask with and without auto darkening, I am not even looking at this one. For 12 extra bucks and you get the auto darkening, it is a total no-brainer. Now for me today, I'm gonna go one more level up from this. I bought the blue one. I'm sure the one down from this would have been fine, but I paid the extra $7 to get this one. And when I gave it a try, I really like it. So you remove this extra piece of plastic here, and don't forget the one inside. And now when I start to weld, I don't get sparks in my hair, and I can actually see what I'm doing before I weld and during welding. And I can leave my mask on while I grind. So if you're looking for a new welding mask, these were some of the thoughts when I was going through all the different masks at Harbor Freight. Now I did look other places, but even the helmets on sale were too much. Now if you do a lot of welding and you've got some ideas on which helmet would be better, or if you've tried these Harbor Freight helmets and you've got another opinion, please leave the comments down below. Well, I really appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.